A single gunshot, thousands of witnesses, and a nation left stunned. On September 10th, Charlie Kirk, one of the most influential and most controversial voices in American politics, was killed while speaking at Utah Valley University. This wasn't just an attack on one man. It was an attack that has ignited speculation, outrage, and fear across the country. Tonight, we break down everything. The shooting itself, what eyewitnesses saw, how the public and leaders have reacted, and why this moment could mark a turning point in America's political climate. Charlie Kirk was in Orem, Utah, as part of his American Comeback Tour. The event drew over 3,000 people, packed shoulder to shoulder, eager to hear the 31-year-old co-founder Turning Point USA. For many in attendance, this was more than just a speech. It was a rallying cry for young conservatives, an opportunity to hear directly from a man who had built a movement on college campuses nationwide. But just 20 minutes in, tragedy struck. A single shot rang out. Witnesses froze in shock. Then chaos erupted. Kirk collapsed on stage, struck in the neck. Blood poured instantly, and screams filled the courtyard. Some rushed to help. Others fell to the ground in panic. And many scrambled for exits that became bottlenecked in the frenzy. He was rushed to the hospital, but despite desperate efforts, he was later pronounced dead. The university went into immediate lockdown. Students were told to shelter in place. Police swarmed the area with rifles drawn. And within hours, the FBI was on the scene, confirming what many already feared. This was no accident. It was a targeted attack. Investigators now believe the fatal shot came from an elevated position, most likely a rooftop overlooking the courtyard. That single detail has fueled speculation of a sniper-style assassination. Ballistic experts at the scene suggested the precision of the shot indicated planning and skill, not randomness. 2 people were initially detained, but released soon after, with police confirming they were not involved. Beyond that, no names, no suspects, and no arrests. For now, the killer remains in the shadows. And yet, the witnesses saw plenty. One student, standing close to the stage, said she saw the bullet hit Kirk directly. Her words, a waterfall of blood. She believed immediately it was fatal. Another attendee told reporters the shooter must have been at least 200 yards away, given the angle of the wound and the open-air courtyard. A mother, who was there with her daughter, described hearing a single pop, then watching Kirk clutch his neck before collapsing. Others claimed to have spotted movement on nearby rooftops. One described a figure in dark clothing, possibly with tactical gear. Another witness swore they saw what looked like the faint glint of glass, possibly a rifle scope, reflecting under a streetlight. Even more chilling, dispatch audio later referenced a suspect wearing black tactical gear and aviator glasses. That has not been confirmed by officials, but it has only fueled speculation. Criticism is also mounting over security. With thousands in attendance and a nationally known speaker, many assumed there would be bag checks or metal detectors. Instead, attendees say only a handful of officers were visible. Some complained there weren't even uniformed officers positioned near rooftops or elevated areas. For some, this wasn't just a tragedy. It was a preventable one. Then came the wave of speculation. On social media, theories exploded within hours. Some are convinced it was the professional sniper. Others argue it was a lone wolf, a politically charged individual who saw Kirk as a target. And many believe this was nothing short of a political assassination, carried out in the open, in front of thousands, to send a message. The lack of security only fuels the theory that Kirk was deliberately vulnerable, a soft target. Others have even suggested inside knowledge. Someone who knew the layout of the courtyard and the lack of surveillance in certain areas. For now, these are theories, speculation waiting for answers. But the uncertainty has left the public both enraged and afraid. And while the public speculates, leaders are speaking out. President Donald Trump wasted no time. He called an assassination, describing Kirk as a great man from top to bottom. He placed the blame on what he called dangerous rhetoric from political opponents, and promised that justice would be served. His words were echoed at a rally the same evening, where chants of justice for Charlie broke out among his supporters. Utah's governor, Spencer Cox, echoed those words, also calling it a political assassination. He promised a full force of federal and state resources to track down the shooter. Utah Senator Mike Lee shared condolences and condemned the violence, joining a chorus of lawmakers across the country. Even those who clashed with Kirk politically agreed on one thing: violence has no place in America's democracy. Utah Valley University's president, Astrid Tumenez, called the campus community shocked and saddened. She said UVU stand for debate and dialogue, not bloodshed. The university suspended classes for the week, calling for reflection and unity. A memorial service was announced to honor Kirk, where thousands are expected to attend. But to understand why this moment is so explosive, you need to understand who Charlie Kirk was. At just 18, Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA, which quickly became a powerful force in conservative politics. He focused on mobilizing young conservatives, particularly on college campuses, where debates over free speech and political correctness became frontline battles. He grew into a fixture on Fox News. He built a massive online following. He wrote books, hosted podcasts, and became one of President Trump's strongest allies. To supporters, he was a warrior for free speech, someone willing to confront the culture wars head-on. To critics, he was a provocateur, someone who thrived on division, using confrontation as a political weapon. That divide is exactly why many believe he was killed for his politics. Charlie Kirk's death comes at a time when America feels like it's reaching a boiling point. We've seen public figures face harassment, death threats, and even assassination attempts. Representative Gabby Giffords in 2011, Congressman Steve Scalise in 2017. More recently, attempts against Supreme Court justices, governors, and candidates across the spectrum. Political rallies today look more like high-security zones. And yet, this shooting exposed just how fragile safety still is. For many, this tragedy isn't just about the death of one man. It's about what his death represents. A reminder that political violence is not just a distant threat. It is here, now, shaping the future of this country. And so, the questions remain. Who pulled the trigger? Was this the act of a lone gunman? Or a part of something bigger? What was the motive? And how did a shooter gain access to a rooftop vantage point without anyone noticing? Until investigators have answers, all we can do is wait and separate fact from speculation. What we know for certain is this: Charlie Kirk's death has left a gaping hole in conservative politics. And whether you admired him or oppose him, his assassination marks a dangerous moment in America's history. A young, high-profile political voice has been silenced, and the consequences of that silence may extend far beyond Utah Valley University. Our thoughts are with his family, with the witnesses who endured this horror, and with the UVU community. If you believe it's important to stay informed in moments like this, I encourage you to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video. Together, we can cut through the noise, separate facts from speculation, and keep the conversation about America's future grounded in truth.